Prime Minister Narendra Modi, ladies and gentlemen, giving his victory speech, third time getting the mandate. Well, not a majority for the BJP alone, but the pre-poll alliance of the NDA getting 291 seats, enough to form a government. And that was his speech showing the intent. We are also hearing that tomorrow there will be a meeting of the NDA partners and Chandrababu Naidu expected to come to Delhi. We're still awaiting any confirmation coming in from Nitish Kumar. But ladies and gentlemen, Bharat has given a majority to the NDA, and this majority mandate to Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the largest democratic exercise in the world, an absolute majority remains elusive for the BJP, but the NDA has managed to sail through beyond the 272 mark. With these numbers, clearly the direction as well as the form in which governments will work in Delhi will have a different code of conduct and a different chemistry, though it is a Tisri Bar mandate. Of course, this may force the BJP to follow coalition dharma that it hasn't had to do in its previous two terms and compromise on its ideology and agenda to suit its alliance partners. But what led the BJP down the path seeking Sabka Saath from its alliances, and what's the inside buzz on the back channel of talks? It appears Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu have emerged as kingmakers. As of now, they are with the NDA, but clearly the India alliance not very averse to extending an olive branch to them. And that was stated by none other than Mallikarjun Kharge as well as Rahul Gandhi when they spoke earlier this evening, addressing a press conference, actually celebrating the kind of increase in mandate that the Congress has got. Let's listen in to Mallikarjun Kharge, Congress President, and Rahul Gandhi.
The country has unanimously and clearly stated we do not want Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah to be involved in the running of this country. We do not like the way they have run this country.
अब ये स्पष्ट हो गया है कि ये मैंडेट मोदी जी के खिलाफ गया है।
উনি ক্রেডিবিলিটি লস করেছেন, ওনার ইমিডিয়েট প্রধানমন্ত্রী থেকে রেজিগনেশন দেওয়া উচিত।
On many occasions in the election, Nitish Kumar is on record on saying that he will stay with the NDA.
Even as the BJP is still looking in shock at its numbers, the states that led the BJP down, let me recap the performance today. Uttar Pradesh, which has 80 seats, the BJP managed to get only 32. The Samajwadi Party 38, Congress 6, RLD 2, and Apna Dal 1. That is the status of the BJP, 32 down to 32 from 62 last time around. And Akhilesh Yadav putting a speed breaker on the BJP's tracks. In Maharashtra as well, while the Congress party led with 13 seats, BJP was down to 10 from its 25 seats that it contested. The Uddhav Thackeray Sena actually won 9 seats. Shiv Sena of the Shinde Alliance won 7. Sharad Pawar's NCP won 7, but Ajit Pawar only could bring in 1 seat, and that's where the BJP got yet another rude shock. In Rajasthan, which has 25 seats, the BJP leading on 14, Congress on 8. The CPM on 1, and other smaller parties 1 each. That's where the BJP got another 440-volt jolt. And then came West Bengal, where the BJP was expecting to better its performance of 2019 when it got 18 seats. This time, however, it's lost 6 of those seats and is down to 12, while Trinamool Congress is at 29 and the Congress party got 1 lead in West Bengal. So these states really putting the BJP on the back foot. But in the meanwhile, Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar became hot properties in New Delhi. Both Chandrababu Naidu spoke to Amit Shah, Home Minister, as well as Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and also Prime Minister Modi speaking to Nitish Kumar actually tried to consolidate the NDA together. Let's open up this debate tonight on what really is the road ahead as far as the BJP and the NDA are concerned. And joining me this evening, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, Member of Parliament, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Harshvardhan Tripathi, Senior Journalist, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, Author, Scientist. Also joining me this evening, Abhishek Dutt, Leader of the Congress Party, Ram Pratap Singh, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Also joining us, K. Ravindra Kumar, Member of Parliament in the Rajya Sabha of the TDP, Rajiv Ranjan of the JDU, Mahesh Tapse of the NCP. My first question to you, Abhishek Dutt. The Congress has done well, but the tally on the screen says 234 for the India Alliance, 99 for the Congress Party. The BJP is the single largest party with 240 seats and 291 as a pre-poll alliance, which is the NDA alliance. Why is the Congress already making up its mind that the India alliance has emerged as a winner while the NDA alliance has lost? I think you need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
See, if you look at the press conference done by our Congress president along with Rahul Ji, both of them very clearly said that anything to do with the government has to be first decided by our alliance partner. And I think that's a very good sign of an internal democracy of an alliance. Only after you speak with them, any formal statement can be made after that. But I just want to say one thing. I was listening to the Prime Minister's speech right now. He mentioned very strongly on corruption. But if you look at the reality, all those people that the Prime Minister used to call corrupt are today seen standing with the Prime Minister. All those Congress old leaders who were criticizing the Bharatiya Janata Party for the longest time, today are official spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Within Bharatiya Janata Party, when I was in Maharashtra, a lot of leaders were saying that we are the ones who are fighting with the Congress. Today we have 2 Rajya Sabha seats. One goes to Milind Deora, the other one goes to Ashok Chavan. So within the Bharatiya Janata Party, there is strong discontent. I'm happy to see the official spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party on a channel today. Otherwise, we see all ex-congressmen sitting and screaming on the TV channel. So people witness everything. They see everything. They know what the reality is. The reality is Bharatiya Janata Party was very clear. They are looking at a 400 figure. The entire election was fought on Modi ji's name. It was not NDA ki guarantee, it was not BJP ki guarantee. The message that Bharatiya Janata Party gave us, it is Modi ki guarantee. And Modi ki guarantee has not failed. Even his own election, he's won with a margin of 150,000. Whereas they were claiming that Modi ji will win with more than 6 lakh votes. Look at Uttar Pradesh, 2 strongest leader of Bharatiya Janata Party. The CM along with the PM could not manage even getting 50% of the seat.
Well, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, some uncomfortable questions there. Please respond to Abhishek Dutt.
I think it is the first election of its kind in India when a coalition has got a clear-cut majority. Still it is being perceived that we have lost. And those who have lost for the 3rd successive times, and as per the Nielsen available, is still unable to touch the 100 marks. During our childhood, we used to think कि क्या कभी ऐसा दिन भी आएगा कि कांग्रेस के 100 से कम होंगे. आज तीसरी बार 100 से कम है और उसके बाद चेहरे की चमक देखने लायक है. और हम 240 पे हैं, मगर उसके बाद भी हमारे चेहरे पे वो चमक नहीं है। उसका कारण जानते क्या होता है? कभी कभी क्या होता है, जब टॉपर स्टूडेंट है उससे अपेक्षा होती है, और अगर उसका डिस्टिंक्शन नहीं आए तो जो फेल स्टूडेंट है, जो तीसरी बार फेल हो रहा, मगर वो ये कहता है कि मेरे मार्क्स बढ़ गए तो मेरे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात हो गई। अभी जो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बोला, फर्स्ट टाइम in the political history of the country, after Jawaharlal Nehru, third time a coalition has got a clear-cut majority. कुछ स्टेट्स ऐसे, उड़ीसा में कांग्रेस का चीफ मिनिस्टर हुआ करता था 24 साल पहले, they have been wiped out. We have got a clear majority. अरुणाचल प्रदेश में हमें क्लियर मेजोरिटी मिली है, उन्होंने बताया। और ये साउथ इंडिया की बात करते थे, आज बात करिए ना, इन कर्नाटका वी आर हैविंग 46% वोट। इन तेलंगाना अभी अभी आपने जीता है, हम उसके एकदम बराबर पे हैं और हमारा वोट 35%। इन केरला वी आर हैविंग 17% वोट्स। तो अगर आप देखें तो आज साउथ में किसके पास, आपके पास सीटें ज्यादा हैं या बीजेपी के पास सीटें ज्यादा हैं? हाँ, हम ये बात कहना चाहते हैं, उत्तर प्रदेश के जो रिजल्ट्स हैं, दे आर डेफिनेटली सरप्राइजिंग and totally against our expectation, and afterwards we will analyze and try to find out that what exactly has happened in Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra. These are the two major states, the biggest state Uttar Pradesh and the second biggest state Maharashtra, in which the results have gone in starking contrast to what we were expecting, and that we will subsequently analyze. But one thing Prime Minister has said, all India alliance together is not able to touch BJP alone, and particularly इस इंडिया अलायंस में वो तृणमूल कांग्रेस भी दिखाए जा रहा है जो कि कांग्रेस के साथ मिलकर नहीं लड़े। इस इंडिया अलायंस में केरल में दोनों एक दूसरे के अगेंस्ट लड़े, बट न्यूमेरिकल कैलकुलेशन में दोनों एक साथ दिखाए जा रहे हैं। पंजाब में एक दूसरे के खिलाफ लड़े हैं मगर एक साथ दिख रहे हैं। इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं, गो बाय द स्टैटिस्टिक्स एंड गो बाय द ग्राउंड केमिस्ट्री। दोनों ही स्थितियों में इंडिया अलायंस की सिचुएशन बहुत डिफरेंट है। एंड ऑन द अदर हैंड, बीजेपी इन इट्स पॉलिसीज, इन इट्स लीडरशिप एंड इट्स अप्रोच, यानी नीति, नियत और नेतृत्व में बिल्कुल कैटेगोरिकली हम क्लियर हैं कि हमको जिस प्रकार से जनादेश मिला, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बताया कि हम आगे किस प्रकार से काम करेंगे। तो बस लास्ट में मैं यही कहना चाहता हूं, ऐसा कोई इलेक्शन आपने नहीं देखा होगा कि जिस अलायंस को मेजॉरिटी मिल जाए उसके बाद वो जो लूज कर गए वो कहेंगे हम जीत गए।
Well, that's a question that I would want to put to Milind Deora, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament of the Shinde Shiv Sena also. Milind Deora, many people are saying that BJP's strategy of picking up people from other political parties has backfired. There are all kinds of analysis that's coming in. How do you see the result in Maharashtra and overall? What do you think is the message in this result, even though 234 of the India alliance altogether is lower than the BJP as a single largest party, yet the opposition seems to be gloating and celebrating a victory tonight?
Yeah, Navika, I hope you can hear me. I was having a problem hearing your feed and the feed of the coordinator. Can you hear me?
We can. Please go on.
Okay. Yeah. No, my observation at a national level to begin with, if the BJP has reached 240 seats, as I tweeted, this is the first time. The only other party that has reached 240 seats was exactly 33 years ago, which was the Congress party when Narasimha Rao became Prime Minister, and this was on the back of Rajiv Gandhiji's assassination. Since then, the only other party which has achieved a full majority in parliament has been under the leadership of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji in 2014 and 2019. So winning 240 seats after 10 years of being in power, in my opinion, is unprecedented. Seeing a third term Prime Minister winning a third consecutive term is unprecedented. This has not happened for 62 years. The last time it happened, incidentally, was in 1962, when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became a third consecutive Prime Minister. So for the opposition to be gloating, as you say, to be celebrating, rejoicing, getting 234 seats with partners who did not even have a pre-poll alliance with them, if you add their numbers in, which 234 is lower than what BJP single-handedly got. I can only wish them well. I have many friends in the Congress who remain personal friends of mine. I was speaking to some of them. They too were very perturbed by the fact that the party is celebrating, I think, getting 98 seats. If I was a member of the Congress party today, I would be very, very disturbed. I would be very, very distraught about the results that after 15 years, when the Congress in 2009, mind you, got 206 seats. After 15 years, 10 years of which have been a government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Despite that, after 15 years from 206, they've only been able to muster up 8 or 99 seats. That, in my opinion, is shocking. It's surprising. I would say that. Let me ask you,
Milind Deora. Let me come straight to the point. What people want to know tonight, is there any possibility of the NDA in its current form putting out any overtures and olive branches to Shiv Sena of the Uddhav Thackeray group?
Firstly, you're asking me to comment on conjecture, but I think that's something which is impossible. Mind you, in Maharashtra, the result has not been as good as we expected. It's in fact better than what many exit pollsters anticipated. But in terms of a hit rate, my party is slightly higher than the Uddhav Thackeray faction's hit rate, its strike rate, number one. But certainly there's much more room to have grown. There's many reasons one can attribute for that. It's still early. One would have to introspect. One would have to do many analysis. At the top of my head, I would say, for instance, that in many seats, the NDA, whether it was BJP, whether it was Shiv Sena, decided on a candidate very, very late, declared a candidate at the last minute in a election where there are 3, 4, 5 parties in an alliance. For the candidate to work with all leaders across all those parties, work with all the karyakartas, cover the area entirely, becomes very, very difficult within a 2-week or 3-week period. That could be one reason. Certainly, there's a lot more work to be done before the assembly elections. I hope going forward, there will be a more united strategy and we will declare candidates much sooner than we did in the Lok Sabha elections. But this is something we certainly need to introspect on. We need to see why NDA didn't perform.
Changing of gears and overconfidence will have to make way for better strategy, Milind Deora. But thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour tonight. But let me go straight back to my panel and let me ask K. Ravindra Kumar, Member of Parliament of the Rajya Sabha from the TDP. Many congratulations to you, sir, for the victory in Andhra Pradesh and for the stupendous showing at the Lok Sabha hustings as well. The question many are asking tonight is, which side are you on? Because you've been on both sides of the fence with the BJP, with the India Alliance, partners in the past. You've tried to sew up an alliance against Narendra Modi in 2019. Will you be comfortable in the NDA or in the India Alliance, and have any calls already begun to come in order to seek your support just in case India can increase the family size?
Thank you, madam, for congratulating me and my party. At the same time, it is a political celebrations are going on in the headquarters Delhi. But as far as our party is concerned, it is true in 2019 we were with opposition due to some differences with the NDA with regard to the implementation of AP Reorganization Act, etc. However, earlier and subsequently also, we are joined in NDA. It is joined in NDA, it is a pre-poll alliance. The question of departing from the alliance doesn't arise. There is no scope at all, there is no intention at all. Though our party has pre-poll alliance, and out of alliance, there is a seat sharing in the state of Andhra Pradesh as far as assembly is concerned. That 10 assembly seats has given to BJP and 21 Janasena, which is a part of NDA, and 144 but TDP. out of which 136 TDP won, and Janasena 21 as it is whole one, and BJP has got 8 seats out of 10 seats. So therefore, and like similarly, Parliament there are 25 seats in Andhra Pradesh.
So you're saying
Out
it's
of
one
25,
big happy family and
so,
you're not
17 seats
expecting
contested
anything
by
to
our
happen
party.
in that happy family. Well, Abhishek Dutt, please note the point because the India Alliance wants to go shopping tomorrow. That's the statement coming in from the TDP Member of Parliament. Let me also go across to Mahesh Tapse. Great performance by the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. Not many exit polls looked at that faction very favorably. But clearly you bucked the trend and put up those numbers on the screen. But as Sudhanshu Trivedi ji said, it's still short of all the India Alliance parties together. What they have won is short of what BJP has won alone. Why is there so much celebration as the BJP raises the question in the India Alliance camp when clearly the mandate is for you to sit in the opposition?
Well, good evening, all of you. And I'm trying to wonder, who has said this, that, why there is so much fear in the minds of the BJP when it clearly has 290 as NDA. They are well above the majority mark. And I do not know what's ringing in their ears that they are feeling that the power is going to get snatched from them. We have just around 235, 240. And in Maharashtra, we have done exceptionally well, given the fact that BJP tried to destabilize our party, the NCP, Sharad Pawar. They tried to do the same thing with the Shiv Sena. And here we see the BJP decimated from 23 to almost 10 seats in Maharashtra. So, they are the ones who should be taking a stock of things like Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi just said that they have to take stock of what has happened in Maharashtra and in Uttar Pradesh. So in Maharashtra, people have clearly refused their leadership, clearly refused their divisive tactics, and they have routed you out of power equation in Maharashtra. I think there's nobody from the Shiv Sena of the Eknath Shinde camp, but I am very sure that the BJP will drop the Mr. Eknath Shinde like a hot potato because now the cadre is disturbed. The cadre because I've been speaking to spokesperson across the BJP panel. And
Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, please respond. That's a direct charge at the BJP.
I think they are doing an unnecessary mental exercise about what? As Mr. K. Ravindra Kumar has categorically said that they are firmly with us. So is the case with all other alliance partners. So it is clearly visible from the numeric figures that NDA under the leadership of BJP with clear-cut leadership of Shri Narendra Modi ji has got a clear majority. अब जो दूसरी बातें हैं कि उसमें क्या हुआ था, किस तरह हुआ था, that will be analyzed definitely. We will analyze. After 2014 and 19, despite we have won, we analyzed the elections कि जहां हम हारे कम सीटें मिली थी क्यों मिली. 2004 and 9 we analyzed. So definitely we will analyze what happened in Maharashtra and what happened in Uttar Pradesh. And that takes several days and even several weeks after the results have come. So then accordingly we will take an appropriate step.
राजीव रंजन जी सबसे पहले तो मैं पूछना चाहती हूं कि जेडीयू अब की बार एनडीए में है या कोई छोटा सा टूर बनाने के लिए इंडिया गठबंधन के साथ भी जा सकता है?
देखिए नाविका जी, आप अगर अलायंसेस को देखेंगी तो कभी कांग्रेस के साथ समाजवादी पार्टी रही है, कभी नहीं रही है। बीएसपी के साथ कभी समाजवादी पार्टी थी, कभी नहीं है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के भी अनेक राजनीतिक दलों के साथ रिश्ते बने, रिश्ते टूटे, लेकिन हम एनडीए के साथ 20 वर्षों से उनके साथ हैं। अगर आप देखेंगी ये 2.5 दशक का जो सफर है, इसमें हम लोग कांग्रेस और उनके साथ के दलों के साथ भी रहे हैं, लेकिन एक बड़ा जो ये कालखंड है वो हम लोग एनडीए के साथ रहे और एनडीए के संस्थापक सदस्यों में से एक जनता दल यूनाइटेड भी है। इसलिए जो अटकलें लगाई जा रही हैं, जो कयास लगाए जा रहे हैं, देखिए बौखलाहट और हताशा है। और हम ये मानते हैं कि इस जनादेश के मायने बिल्कुल स्पष्ट हैं। एक संदेश तो स्पष्ट है जो सुधांशु जी ने पहले कहा, मैं दोहराना नहीं चाहता हूं, लेकिन भारत के संसदीय इतिहास में पहली गैर कांग्रेसी सरकार जिसको तीसरी बार देश की जनता ने चुना है और नरेंद्र मोदी जी की अगुवाई में वो काम करेगी। दूसरी तरफ एक स्वस्थ और सबल विपक्ष भी इस मैंडेट ने दिया है। अपनी भूमिका से कांग्रेस और समाजवादी पार्टी समेत एनसीपी तमाम दलों को संतुष्ट होना चाहिए कि लोकतंत्र में सत्ता की ऐसी बेचैनी और बौखलाहट कि जो लोग एक ट्रिपल अलायंस में हैं, आप उनके भरोसे आप सरकार बनाने की बात सोचते हैं। आपको मैंडेट मिला अपोजिशन में बैठने के लिए और निसंदेह आपको उस भावना का सम्मान करना चाहिए। और जिस तरह से मैं सुबह से पैनल में अलग अलग चैनल्स पर डिबेट्स देख रहा हूं, शामिल हो रहा हूं, 1 बजे के बाद ये पूरी तरह से किसी न किसी, कभी सूत्र के बहाने, कभी किसी के बयान के जरिए कि नीतीश कुमार जी से संपर्क में है शरद पवार जी, उन्होंने आधिकारिक खंडन किया। फिर उसके बाद टीडीपी को लेकर कहा, टीडीपी की ओर से नायडू ने खुद ट्वीट करके प्रधानमंत्री जी को बधाई दी। तो देखिए, ये पूरे कयास और अटकलबाजियों को हम लोग खारिज करते हैं, मजबूती के साथ एनडीए के साथ हैं। और तीसरी पारी जो 5 वर्षों का रोड मैप है, देश की जनता से किए वायदों को पूरा करने में हम लोग लगाएंगे।
Ram Pratap Singh ji, the Samajwadi Party's put up a stupendous show in Uttar Pradesh. But still short, the India alliance is still short of the halfway mark, and the mandate is for you to sit in the opposition. I want to ask you, why then is the opposition continuously targeting the NDA, saying that the mandate is against them, when they are clearly and comfortably, as a pre-poll alliance, past the halfway mark, nearly 20 extra seats?
Thank you, Navika. First of all, I'm very happy that I've kept my promise to be back on your show for tonight.
Absolutely.
Because, that was something which was
fantastic to have you on the show.
Yeah, but thank you. So coming from Uttar Pradesh, let me first share with you, we've had a very successful day today. And the reasons I've been talking about on your show several times, that one of the biggest reasons is that BJP was not glued onto the ground, and their strategists could not see what the undercurrent was, and the issues of unemployment and issues of poverty were more important than issues of religion. And this is, in a way, a mandate by the people of Uttar Pradesh against politics of hatred and division, and it's a mandate for addressing the basic issues of development of a large population of India which resides in Uttar Pradesh and is below the poverty line and is facing not only unemployment related issues but also agrarian distress. So that's my analysis of why Samajwadi Party and the India Alliance in Uttar Pradesh has dealt, I mean, I could say, have literally stopped the pan-India run for BJP that was predicted. So coming from there, now as far as Samajwadi Party is concerned and as part of India Alliance, if the mandate is to be a responsible opposition, a stronger and more responsible opposition, we will be very happy to shoulder that responsibility.
Well said, and Ram Pratap ji, I always commend you for a very intellectual manner in which you look at politics. And Anand Ranganathan, there are some who believe that this is the mandate to sit in the opposition, but a stronger opposition. How do you think the road from here is going to change as far as running of government is concerned, governance, decisions, and all the work on the economic front, on the social front, that has been happening over the last 10 years? What is the change that you see going further?
Good evening, Navika, and good evening to my fellow panelists, and congratulations to the winners and commiserations to those who did not win this time round. There's always the next time. I have 3 or 4 points to make, Navika, very quickly. Number one, let me just give you the facts. Look, the Congress that came to power at the back of 145 seats in 2004 and then 205 seats or 6 seats in 2009, is saying the BJP has no right to be in power, even though the BJP has got 245 odd seats at the back of 10 years of anti-incumbency, is just ridiculous. I mean, the fact of the matter is, yes, Modi may never be as strong a Prime Minister as Rajiv Gandhi, but he will never be as weak a Prime Minister as Manmohan Singh. Let's get the facts out here. Let's see what has happened here. I mean, Rahul Gandhi and the Congress is going to sit the third time successively in the opposition, and its supporters are jubilant. Whereas the BJP is going to form the government third time successively, and its supporters are distraught. As Sudhanshuji said, a person who normally gets 99% this time got 90% and is being mocked by somebody who's to fail and has barely passed. Be that as it may, what is the road ahead? And I just want to spend a minute on that. Navika, I think Mr. Modi is going to run a stable government, a stable tenure for the next 5 years, but there are a few caveats.
Okay.
A lot of things that he said he is going to do, earth-shaking things, might not be possible now. It's a bittersweet thing for me because I'm always pro-reforms. I want reforms in social and economic sectors all the time. In the social sectors, I don't think those reforms would happen. UCP might not happen. All the discrimination that happens against Hindus will not be, alleviated because the Waqf Act will be there, the Places of Worship Act will continue, RTE will continue, all those things because Nitish will stop that.
UCC nahi hoga, one nation, one election nahi hoga.
Seconds. Because Chandrababu Naidu has been more pro-reform than even Narendra Modi, I think that combination will work perfectly for economic reform. So it's a bittersweet.
हर्षवर्धन त्रिपाठी जी,
नहीं बिल्कुल नविका जी, मुझे लगता है कि जो आनंद कह रहे हैं मैं उसी को आगे बढ़ाऊं तो नरेंद्र मोदी ने बहुत स्पष्ट तौर पर कहा था कि थर्ड टर्म में दुनिया की 3 सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था में भारत होगा। उसके लिए हम ऐसे फैसले लेंगे जो देश की अर्थव्यवस्था को बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ाए। यूसीसी, वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन या इस तरह के जो फैसले हैं वो बैक बर्नर पर जाएंगे। वो इसलिए भी जाएंगे क्योंकि अगर उसमें वो एनर्जी जाएगी तो शायद दूसरे काम नहीं हो पाएंगे। लेकिन मेरा ये मानना है कि नरेंद्र मोदी अभी पहली बार इस सिचुएशन में है कि कोई ऐसी जिसको हम कहते हैं ना कि मेजॉरिटी उनके पास नहीं है और ब्रूट मेजॉरिटी नहीं है या अच्छी मेजॉरिटी नहीं है, लेकिन उसके बावजूद स्थितियों को अपने लिहाज से करना ये नरेंद्र मोदी को आता है। हमने पहले भी देखा है। मुझे नहीं लगता कि सरकार चलाने में कोई मुश्किल होगी और फैसले भी लिए जाएंगे, चंद्रबाबू नायडू और नीतीश कुमार जी की सहमति से लिए जाएंगे।
सुधांशु त्रिवेदी जी, no, Sudhanshu Trivedi, I'm completely out of time. Sudhanshu Trivedi ji, you think gears will be changed? काम करने का तरीका बदलेगा, डिसीजंस लेने का तरीका बदलेगा, लेकिन डायरेक्शन वही रहेगी। सुधांशु त्रिवेदी जी यही सब सोच रहे हैं, एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं और शायद शो के शुरू में किसी ने आपको कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस भी नहीं बोला, पता नहीं क्यों, लेकिन 291 आफ्टर a 10-year of government that has been run and then to get a majority for the coalition, well, congratulations to you, Sudhanshu Trivedi. Eyes will be on when will you swear in the new government. Are you giving us any hints?
One thing, we want to make it very clear, as Mr. Devada was telling, with an exception of 1991, that was in the aftermath of assassination of Rajiv Gandhi. Since 1984, Congress is unable to touch the figure which we have got under the leadership of Modi ji. So definitely it will be the government running with firmness and have faith in the capability and versatility of Shri Narendra Modi's personality. बिकॉज आपने उनको डिफरेंट डायमेंशंस में देखा है और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि वो इस कोalition में भी उतनी दक्षता से भारत को तीसरी अर्थव्यवस्था बनाने के विषय के ऊपर आगे ले जाने में सफल होंगे। और जो कहा गया है कि चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी और नीतीश कुमार जी बहुत मेच्योर और ये लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम तक हमारे ही पार्टनर रहे हैं। पहले भी हमारे बीजेपी के साथ ही इनका कोalition रहा है। तो मुझे लगता है कि एक नए दिशा में, एक नए जोश के साथ हम आगे बढ़ने में सफल होंगे। बट एक लाइन में कहना चाहता हूं, हमसे क्वेश्चन पूछा जा रहा है कि 400 पार थे, 291 है। अखिलेश यादव ने कितनी बार दावा किया था 79 जीतेंगे मतलब 79 से 36 आने पे उनकी विक्ट्री है और हमारा 241 आने पे हमारी डिफीट। कोई बात नहीं, जो नड्डा जी ने कहा एक इकोसिस्टम है जो कि किस तरीके से डिफीट को विक्ट्री और विक्ट्री को डिफीट प्रोजेक्ट करने में लगा रहता है, उसको भी जरा मेटिकुलसली और माइक्रोस्कोपिकली देखने की जरूरत है।
Bilkul, that's the way people of India have spoken. The NDA alliance at 291 looks like it's set to form the government. That's the statement of the Prime Minister. Well, the opposition, the India alliance, has got a mandate to sit in opposition. Will we see some shenanigans in the political stratosphere tomorrow? Well, we'll keep our eyes on that. Thank you very much to all my panelists, and thank you, viewers, for joining me and staying with us through these elections. Today is the culmination of these very long and very, very scorching hot elections. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We hope we came up to your expectations, and we hope that you'll stay with us every single day for the news that we bring to you fastest and most accurate.
The news